Already? Okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's exciting to announce my reelection to the position of Member of Congress for the 18th Congressional District. Over the past couple of weeks, it is even more exciting to have had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful Houstonians and to hear so many stories and to reinforce how important this city is, but also how important the work in the United States Congress is. As an incumbent, I thought that there was more work to be done and there was more work to finish, and that I wanted to join the members of Congress who I know work every day to build a better quality of life for all Americans and certainly Houstonians. What touched my heart over the last couple of weeks was a story of Kate Cox. In fact, I'm both hurt and overwhelmed by her story because I've been a fighter for reproductive rights from the time I entered the United States Congress. We have continued to fight to maintain Roe v. Wade, both as a senior member or a member of the Judiciary Committee, now gained enormous seniority, and as a member in leadership of the Democratic caucus. This predicament, this crisis that she finds herself in, this House crisis that she finds herself in, and to be opposed by her own state, by the leaders of her own state. And so in actuality, what is really saving her is the fact that she is able to go to other states and that federal law has not blocked her from being able to secure this absolute emergency medical care in another state, but she cannot receive it in her state. When the state law came out in Texas, I was one of the first members to write a criminal law that indicated that if you stalk someone who was attempting to get reproductive health services, that was a criminal act. Because I'm always sensitive to try to help the constituents in this state. And again, my heart aches for this mother, this family that simply wants to have the opportunity to expand their family. I also have seen in my congressional office over the past couple of months the high number of evictions. And we worked on those evictions and tried to settle persons wherever we could. But I know there needs to be more dollars that can be utilized by our housing agencies to help stop evictions, to create more affordable housing for our young families, for seniors, and simply young students who talk to me all the time about kitchen table issues, being able to meet the responsibilities that they have. As a member of Congress, we can work on those issues because I have. I want to make sure we get to the point where we actually have a commitment that works, that is made law, of bringing down the student college debt. We didn't get there. We've had the proposal of the president be, in essence, stopped, and I think it's important for Congress to work on that going forward. I want to finish my work on the Emancipation Trail, which will be historic in the state of Texas, from Galveston to Houston, telling the story of enslaved Africans. I want to continue my work on fighting crime and criminal justice reform. I'm delighted to have the opportunity in the next Congress, if elected, to be the chair of the Crime Subcommittee and to work again on Homeland Security that helped me be a leader during those 7 nationally declared disasters that the city faced. So besides loving the opportunity of service, grateful to the many people that I met in and out of the 18th Congressional District, knowing that I can get the job done and I can work with so many of the leaders in this city as they continue to work to better the quality of life of Houstonians, those in Harris County, and yes, those in Texas. I know my agenda will be full, but I am known in the United States Congress as a person, again, who gets the job done. So let's go to work. I'll be in this primary election and hopefully move on to the general election and be able to serve again so that women like Kate Cox may have a better response to our crisis. Texas should not be a state that blocks women from their own independent decisions and blocks families, loving families, from seeing their loved one go through the crisis that Kate is going through at this time. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And I just simply said, let's get the job done.
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am, Congresswoman. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to respond to Amanda Edwards. You know, she put out a statement, and I spoke to her on the phone earlier today. She made an argument that your congressional district is looking for change, that especially given the kind of partisan rancor that we see in Washington, D.C., there's a need for fresh faces up there, and that was sort of her argument in favor of her campaign. I'm wondering if you could respond to that.
I'm a fresh face. Every year that I go back to the United States Congress, I'm committed to change, to leading, and to solving problems. I look forward, very frankly, to the Democrats winning the House. The only confusion that we have, unfortunately, is for almost 4 to 6 weeks, maybe, we did not have a speaker. That was not Democrats. That was Republicans who could not decide on a speaker. That added to any level of confusion that was not in any way partisan rancor. In fact, Democrats came to the floor on every one of those votes and voted for their candidate and waited for the Republicans to vote for theirs. As a senior member of the Budget Committee, Homeland Security, and Judiciary, I've been able to bring a mountain of resources to this city and this state. I think the key is that what has really been the success of our urban cities and counties and states is the work we did when the Democrats were in the majority, and I was in leadership, as I am now, but we're in the minority, and we passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill. The amount of money that Texas is getting is unbelievable. $3 to $5 billion in broadband. That came from the work that we did in the last Congress. New Start money, $142 million for Metro, and more to come, because Metro has shown itself to be well respected with Secretary Buttigieg, who's been here many times. More money for, and that's the headquarters in my congressional district. We work with all members of Congress, but the New Start is something that I have been pushing the Department of Transportation for more monies for Metro. In addition, the airport, Bush Intercontinental Airport, is in my district, and they've received millions and millions of dollars. The Secretary joined me at the airport just a few months ago to announce another large grant of federal dollars. So it's not partisan strife. It's unfortunate that the majority has decided to not focus on the needs of the nation and the needs of this country. Senator Tuberville held up military appointments for 6 months. I have to get my numbers. It's so long you can't remember. That broke my heart. The Senate, a majority, the Democrats, tried everything they could to stop this from impacting national security. I'm very pleased to be going back to hopefully pass an NDAA that deals with armed services. And legislation that I worked across the aisles in the Senate and in the House. I'm probably one of the few members with legislation in the NDAA that stops foreign extortion of businesses by foreign countries, to stop U.S. businesses from having to be extorted. I continue to work no matter where I am and what I might be doing, because I work, yes, across the aisles, but I'm also a principled Democrat. So I look forward to matching not only work done, but work that's ongoing and work that will be done. I believe that any Democrat here in the United States Congress will agree with me that we've created no partisan rancor. We've tried to work with our colleagues, particularly on the appropriations bills, which I've been intimately involved in. I have community projects, but more importantly, amendments that have worked on a number of issues, the triple-negative breast cancer that I've always fought for. There are more bills to come, and what we'd like to see done is that we fund the government. We have 2 upcoming votes in 2024 to help fund the government, but we were able to extend that working with the new Speaker of the House. And I think that should be very clear. There was Democrats who worked with the new Speaker of the House to get the extension of the appropriations so that the government would not shut down. Again, that's not partisan rancor. That's being a problem solver. And what I'm most proud of is that I have been called, I'm not in the problem solvers caucus, it's a different caucus, but I'm a person who's willing to work across the aisle. I don't know if many people know that I passed legislation against doping in the Olympics. The Olympics are coming up. I'm going to be extremely honored that my legislation will be in place for there to be criminal penalties for anyone engaged in doping internationally. And we worked hard on that, and that's because of my international experience and my membership in the Organization of Security and Cooperation for Europe. I work where it is needed, and I will look forward to going back and working on the border. One of the things I did before, during the summer, my one moment away, was going to the border, Eagle Pass, to see the unfortunate circumstances of the razor fence and the boys that were there. And we see that the court agreed with us that thought that was inhumane. We have to find a rational way to respond to the border. I am empathetic to those concerned of migration, and we have to find, that's the federal government's responsibility. I've always submitted rational, reasonable immigration reform every year, and we can do this. I'm convinced we can do it. We can make it stronger, but more compatible with both the president, but other members of Congress, Republicans and Democrats. And I do think it's important to explain to the public that getting rid of asylum or a way to have access to legal status will not help the process. And that'll be my job, because I've spent many, many, many days at the border and feel comfortable in continuing to work on this issue. So there's a lot of knowledge that I have that will be helpful for this city and this state, a lot of knowledge. I'm excited about Gen Z and the millennials, who we built a whole wide range, a network. And they are the leaders of today. I don't call them leaders of tomorrow. They're the leaders of today. And they will be embraced in how we move forward, because I know they're very concerned about many issues. And I will be one of the advocates that will be making sure that we give a listening ear to them. And more than a listening ear, one where they can act with us and make a difference.
Congresswoman, I know one thing that a lot of people are talking about right now is the turnout and the runoffs, and especially like even the general, but one thing that the Chronicle found in our analysis of that data was that you narrowly carried in your own district, and I was curious if those numbers were top of mind of you heading into the primary, and if you guys were thinking of switching strategy to get more people to the polls.
Well, everybody's talking about the turnout overall, and I just think that people did not focus on this race as a race that they thought would be a problem. They thought someone else would turn out. My neighbor will turn out. And in a congressional race, in a primary, it's more focused, and I'm not deterred by the turnout. I certainly would have wanted it to be more. And we know that once you get people focused on the issues and who can do the job, and it's not a more sizable competitive races on the other side. Because in actuality, the turnout was either better than or about the same as 4 years ago. We've seen that. And people thought they were doing what they'd done before. But the turnout on sort of the other side of town, the west side of town, had a very, very active district race. And I think that drove the vote. There's no doubt that that drove the vote. I think the analysis will show that it did. And I drove the vote in races over here. We had one contested, but the one in the west side was very contested with a lot of money spent, and a lot of money spent overall in the mayor's race. So we are grateful for the turnout, but there's no doubt I'm a big believer in democracy. That's one of the issues that I think is going to be crucial as we go into the next Congress, saving democracy. So I want to make sure everybody comes out. And we will focus on lifting the vote. But if you look at it, it was not anything worse than what happened in the election 4 years ago.
I have another kind of turnout reflection question for you, but just more citywide. You know, Senator Whitmire, from the November general election to the December runoff, his 20 best performing polling locations saw increased turnout, while your 20 best performing polling places saw decreased turnout. So it's kind of the opposite. I'm wondering if you have put any thought into kind of what happened between November and December, whether that was a funding issue, a campaign finance issue for you, versus Senator Whitmire's obviously large campaign chest, or what you think kind of happened in that month that saw your supporters stay home and his supporters turn out?
Well, I certainly think we had challenges with people thinking the race was over. We had a lot of that, probably a whole lot of that people didn't know to come out, and that is evidences by money spent. Remember, we raised every dime that we had. We started in April. That's a good lesson to learn. But I'm proud of the almost $3 million that we raised. Unbelievable in that short period of time. We didn't come in with a pre-account of $10 million and more to be added. And so we were the little engine that could. And we did door knocking and texting and digital, everything that we could, but repetitive is what you need in getting voters out. Remember, people are dealing with their own kitchen table issues. I think a primary will be much different, and people will be much more focused. There'll be much more races there, and we'll be able to really focus on the job I've done and the job that I will be able to do. So I really think that the money game was there. I don't blame the voters, and I don't blame our campaign. I think that I would have wanted more voters to come out, but the voters that came out, I'm grateful for them, and the ones that did not, I think there were many reasons that could have contributed to that other than their lack of interest or their lack of desire. Money played a large role in it. And there were multiple forces that had the desire for the victory of many on the west side, and they all contributed, and it impacted that turnout.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I had one more actually. If you end up being reelected to your position in Congress, how do you plan to work with now Mayor-elect Whitmire to do what's best for Houston?
Just as I work with all the other mayors, as I may be needed, I will help. I've done nothing in the time that I've served but be a partner to our local government, including our county government, including when the county government was in Republican leadership. I worked with all the previous judges, from Judge Echols to Judge Emmett. I worked with all of them. They needed funding for flood mitigation, the Harris County Flood District. Didn't think of anything other than how hard can I work for you. Worked a lot with the Houston Port, still work with them. They get money almost every year, and The district is on the edge of the Houston port. It's in other districts, and those districts work hard. But whatever I can do to help the Houston port, I work hard for Metro, which goes throughout the city, the airport system, which goes out, but I'm very proud of the kind of progress that Bush Intercontinental has made with the federal funding. You're going to see some great new, how should I say it, great new uplifts, improvements because of federal partnerships. And you're going to see some of my community projects that are being utilized by my school districts, by the flooding needs in Humble. We're hoping to give them some resources. And Atascocita, it will impact them. So I've tried to help every part of my district, and Atascocita and Humble, I've already campaigned in that community once. I want them to know I'm here for you, and I work with your local leaders, and we work together for what is best for the people there. I remember doing a shoe giveaway at the beginning of the school year in Humble, food giveaway. We've done a lot of things to make sure that all of our district is treated fairly and equally. I've heard from people all over the district that they're ready to go and ready for us to have an outstanding turnout. And we look forward, as I said, my voice is a little raspy, but I want everybody to know my soul is strong. Those are my favorite words. Voice is a little raspy, but my soul is strong. But we look forward to having a vigorous effort going forward. Turnout, we're going to, as they say, ramp that up. Now they'll be able to stay focused. And people want to know who their member of Congress is. And I want them to know. And I don't think there's anyone in my district that doesn't know who their member of Congress is. And in some way has had some impact on the work we do. We'll be into our 26th or 27th annual Toys for Kids this coming Saturday. And we look forward to a great, wonderful time where we bring kids in from all over the congressional district. And we're excited about being able to spend a day with kids. And that's what my service is, a day with the district, whether it be kids, families, seniors, students, people who are seeking a new lease on life after being incarcerated and looking to be rehabilitated. All those people can find help and relief through the 18th Congressional District and Sheila Jackson Lee as their member of Congress.
Okay.
Anyone else?
All right. That concludes it.
Thank you.
for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.